Now, this is what you must know about Abhinavagupta and Kashmiri Shaivism for starters, is that these are intimately and intricately connected with speech. That Abhinavagupta was a grammarian. He was one of the greatest ever of all the grammarians. You know, it's curious, in the names that Abhinavagupta has, one of his names that he is called is Abhinavagupta Pada. Now, pada is a term that is used, it's an honorific. It's used with Adi Shankara, it's used with a number of the really greatest of the saints. So if you say Abhinavagupta Pada, you can almost not think about that there are other meanings there. Gupta Pada in Sanskrit means snake, means serpent. Yes?
Sorry. Could you go back to the pada? You sort of broke up for a bit.
Okay.
And just lost like a sentence.
Okay.
The pada is from there.
Okay, well, pada is feet, right? So it's you use pada as a suffix with the greatest of saints to not even talk about the saints themselves, but describe the saints' feet out of humility, right? All that I can see are the saints' feet. You see? So this is why, for example, Shankara is called a Bhagavadapada. And the great saints have this honorific. Now, with Abhinavagupta, when he is called Abhinavagupta Pada, there is a play on words here. And the play on words is with Gupta Pada. Abhinava Gupta Pada. Gupta Pada means snake or serpent. So you might relate to Patanjali, who was also a serpent and referred to as Adi Shesha. Now, the other curious thing is that Abhinavagupta was described as the son of a yogini, which is also how Patanjali is described, as the son of a yogini who comes out with his hands like this. Next thing is that Helaraja, who is considered to be one of the foremost commentators on Bhartrihari, was Abhinavagupta's Guru Bhai. They had the same guru. They were guru brothers. And in fact, Abhinavagupta wrote a major commentary on Bhartrihari, and which is unfortunately not available these days. It somehow got lost. And past Abhinavagupta, we have the great grammarian and the great grammarian's family and lineage, Bhatoji Dikshita, from Kashi, from Varanasi, in the 16th, 17th centuries, who were extremely influenced by Abhinavagupta. These are grammarians. Bhatoji Dikshita was the one who basically redacted Panini's Ashtadhyayi to make it available to the students of that time. We've discussed this before. And so these were strict grammarians that saw Abhinavagupta as very much influencing their connection and their appreciation of grammar. So first and foremost, what I want to emphasize here is that the three major schools of Kashmiri Shaivism are entirely determined by this connection of consciousness and speech. Abhinavagupta makes this very clear in what we have of his texts. He was extremely prolific. I believe he composed more than 50 texts during his lifetime, and his work on Tantra, which I have described as the application of speech or the application of sacred speech. He also did works on poetics, which are extremely important because it was his work on aesthetics and poetry that actually took Bhartrihari's work, I believe, a couple steps further. Now, although there is no known connection that I'm aware of between Bhartrihari and Abhinavagupta in terms of their work, I see a very direct connection, and it was. If you remember the conversation that we had on Bhartrihari, in which I described Bhartrihari as defining the basic unit of speech as a sentence rather than a word, this has a great deal of reflection in Abhinavagupta, and indeed he takes it a few steps further in his works on poetics. Now, those who teach Kashmiri Shaivism or any of the texts of Abhinavagupta or others in Kashmiri Shaivism, there is a necessity that they know Sanskrit grammar. This is the prerequisite for any kind of study of Kashmiri Shaivism. Now, that's not to say that the conclusions reached and the philosophies that emerge from people who interpret and teach Kashmiri Shaivism aren't wonderful. They are wonderful. But they are not the Kashmiri Shaivism that is the rare treasure that Abhinavagupta and others have left for us. This treasure is very much determined by speech. He makes it clear, the ones that came after him make it clear, and I don't think that there's any doubt among any of the serious students of his texts that arises.